back, Algebra 1, to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about combining like terms and evaluating. If at any point you need to pause this video to write down what you need, go ahead and do so, but we're going to jump right to it. So on the top of your notes pages, this is the header that you should have, your name, the date. It is day 2 of Unit 2, and the key words are combining like terms and evaluating. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. So what are like terms? Like terms are terms whose variables and exponents are the same. And on the next slide over here, we've got some examples. So again, if you need to pause the video to write down anything, go ahead and do so and then play the video. Okay, so like terms are things like that are written in blue on the left. So things like 3x and 5x are like terms, 6y squared and negative y squared are like terms. Negative 7a and a are like terms, and 5/8 and like 1/8 are like terms. Now, they're like terms because both of these things have an x, both of these things have a y squared, both of these terms have an a, and these are just regular numbers, right? Like they're fractions. So if we look over on the right over here in pink, we've got some examples of unlike terms, so things that are not like terms. So 4w and -1 are unlike terms because the -1 has no w. 7f squared and -13f are not like terms because this f has a squared and this one doesn't. So those are not like terms. 1x and 1y are not like terms because they have different variables attached to the number. And then over here, I've got 1/3 c and 1/3. Again, those aren't like terms because the second 1/3 over here does not have a c. Okay, so now let's take a look at some examples. So example 1 says simplify the expression by combining the like terms. So let's look at A. So I've got 4h plus 10c plus 2e minus 1h plus 3e. Okay, so right off the bat, I've got a couple different variables that I'm working with. I'm going to highlight all of the terms with an h in yellow. So I see I have a 4h here and a -1h here. So I'm going to combine that. So 4h minus 1h, that's 3h. So that's where that comes from. Okay, now let's see. I've got a 10c here. And if I look at the rest of my expression, I don't have another term that has a c in it. So I'm going to bring down that 10c. Okay. And then I'm going to take care of my e. So I've got positive 2e here, and then plus 3e here. So 2e plus 3e, that's going to give me 5e. So I'm going to write plus 5e. And that's as simplified as I can get because 3h, 10c, and 5e are not like terms. So if I'm trying to simplify the expression, and then my final answer is 3h plus 10c plus 5e. And I've simplified that expression. Okay, let's take a look at B. I've got 4d squared minus 2w plus 3y plus 10w plus 4d squared. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to pick a color and I'm going to highlight all of the like terms in that one color. So I've got 4d squared here. Now I'm going to look for another term that has a d squared. It's not 2w, it's not 3y, not 10w. Oh, I've got another 4d squared here. So I've got 4d squared, and then this is a positive 4d squared. And when I combine those like terms, I get 8d squared. Okay, let's take a look at the terms that have a w. I've got negative 2w here, and I've got positive 10w here. So if I'm trying to combine those things, negative 2w plus 10w is 8w. It's a positive 8. All right. And let's take a look at the last one. So I've got a 3y here, and I don't see another term that has a y in it, so I'm just going to bring down that 3y. And so my final answer is going to be 8d squared plus 8w plus 3y. And I cannot combine that further because none of those three terms are alike. Okay, let's take a look at the last one. So I see 1/3 x squared plus 3/7 x minus 2/3 x squared plus 4/7 x. Okay, so this one they're trying to trip us up a little bit, but remember it has to have the same exponents. So 1/3 x squared and negative 2/3 x squared, both of those have x squareds in those, so I can combine those two terms. So I've got 1/3 x squared minus 2/3 x squared. So 1/3 minus 2/3. Let's see. Okay, the denominators are the same, so that means I can just focus on my numerators here. So 1 minus 2 is -1. So here I've got -1/3 x squared. Okay, and now the other term that I see is positive 3/7 x plus 4/7 x. And so those also have the same denominator here, so I can focus on the numerator. So 3 plus 4, that's 7. So I've got plus 7 over 7x. And oh, I can simplify that. So 7 divided by 7 is really just 1. So my final answer is -1/3 x squared plus 1x. Or you can just leave it as -1/3 x squared plus x. If you don't write the 1 down, that's okay. And that's how we simplify like terms.